Hello everybody, in this video we will discuss real-life problems with whole numbers, in other words, typical exam questions. Ratio. It is a comparison of two or more quantities of the same type. Example 1. Tandeka, John and Vusi worked in their father's garden. Tandeka worked for 5 hours, John for 4 hours and Vusi for 3 hours. Their father gave them 600 rand for their work. How should they divide the 600 rand among the three of them? So whenever you're dealing with word problems, my advice to you is underline the important information, which is Tandeka worked for 5 hours, John for 4 hours and Vusi for 3 hours. And then their father gave them 600 rand for their work. So the first thing you do is you work out the total hours ratio. So the total hours ratio is 5 to 4 to 3, and when you add them 5 plus 4 plus 3 you get 12. So that's the total hours is 12. Then you take the 600 rand and you divide it by 12 to get the per hour total, which is 50. And then Tandeka worked 5 hours times 50 is 250, and John worked 4 hours times 50, which is 200, and Vusi worked 3 hours times 50, which is 150. And then you can check whether you were right by adding 250 plus 200 plus 150 is 600 rand. Example 2. Vanessa uses 3 packets of cookies to make a pudding for 8 people. How many packets of cookies does she need to make a pudding for 16 people? Again, let's underline the important information. So there's 3 packets of cookies to make a pudding for 8 people. How many packets of cookies does she need to make a pudding for 16 people? And then what you do is you make a summary. So 3 cookies equals 8 people. And then we don't know, question mark cookies equals 16 people. And then you put cookies under cookies and people under people, and then you do something in maths that we call you cross multiply. So you're going to say 8 cookies equals 3 times 16. And then 3 times 16 is 48. And then what you do is you want cookies alone. So you divide by 8 this side. And what you do on the left, you do on the right. And then you will also divide by 8 that side. Therefore, your answer is 48 divided by 8, which is 6. So 6 packets of cookies will be needed to make a pudding for 16 people. Rate. What is rate? It's a comparison of 2 different types of measurements. Then the most famous rate we get is the distance, speed, time triangle. And what this means is that distance is speed times time. Time is distance over speed, distance divided by speed, and speed is distance divided by time. Example 1. A car travels 250 kilometers in 2 hours. At what speed did it travel? Speed is distance divided by time. So it's 250 divided by 2. Therefore, it's 125 kilometers an hour. Example 2. An aeroplane flies at a speed of 817 kilometers per hour. It takes 3 hours to reach its destination. How far did it fly? Then distance is speed times time. Distance is 817 times 3, which is 2,451 kilometers. Discounts and VAT. Example 1. The price of a calculator is 468 Rand before VAT. What is the price once 15% VAT has been added? So we start by saying 15% of 468, and remember, of in maths means multiplication, and 15% is the same as 15 over 100 times the 468. Therefore, the VAT is 70 Rand and 20 cents. And now we have to add the VAT to the price. So the total is price plus VAT, which is 538 Rand and 20 cents. Example 2. A seller places an advertisement in the local newspaper to sell his motorcycle for 48,700 Rand. He states that if there is a cash buyer, he will give a discount of 20%. What is the discounted price? We start by saying 20% of 48,700, and remember, of is multiplication. So it's 20 over 100 times 48,700 is equal to 9,740. Therefore, the discounted price is the 48,700 minus 9,740, and the discounted price is 38,960. Loans and hire purchase. Now, first of all, when we look at simple interest, there's a formula that says the simple interest is P times R times T over 100. And P stands for the principal amount borrowed. R is the interest rate as a percentage, and T is the time in years. And when we deal with word problems, then it's always important that you highlight the certain important information. So let's start with example 1. Your older brother wants to buy a ring for his girlfriend. He takes out a loan of 12,400 Rand at 12% per annum for 2 years. Number 1, calculate the simple interest. So we write down the formula, and into the formula it is P's value 12,400 times the rate 12% times the time 2 years over 100 is equal to 2,976 Rand interest. 2. What is the final amount he pays? So what we have to do is we have to add the interest to the original principal amount. So the final amount is 12,400 plus 2,976, which is 15,376 Rand. Example 2. Now, just before I'm going to do the example, I just want to show you that as you read through your example, then you must highlight the important information. So Jenny buys a television costing 10,900 Rand. So therefore the cost 10,900. She pays a 10% deposit, that's also important, and then makes monthly repayments for 2 years to pay for the television. The shopkeeper charges her interest at 16% per annum. There is a compulsory insurance of 28 Rand per month. Number 1, calculate the cost of the television after the deposit has been paid. So we start by saying deposit is 10% of 10,900 Rand. And then 10% is 10 over 100, and of is times 10,900. Therefore, the deposit is 1,090 Rand. The cost, however, is the original price, the 10,900 minus the 1,090 of the deposit. Therefore, it's 9,810. Number 2, calculate the simple interest charged. So into the formula, simple interest is equal to P times R times T over 100 is equal to The principal amount is not the 10,900 anymore, it's the 9,810, the amount without the deposit, times the rate is 16% and the time is 2 over 100. Therefore, the interest is 3,139 rand and 20 cents. Number 3, how much will she pay every month? So the monthly repayments is 9,810 plus the interest divide by 24. So where does the divide by 24 come from? It's the 2 years that consist of 24 months is equal to 539 rand and 55 cents. But don't forget about the compulsory insurance. So therefore the total payment is the monthly repayment plus the insurance of 28 rand is equal to 567 rand and 55 cents. Profit and loss. A profit is the difference between the selling price and the cost price. Example 1. A street vendor buys goods for 753 rand and sells his goods at a profit. If his income is 1,255 rand, how much profit does he make? Therefore, profit is the selling price minus the cost price. 1,255 minus 753 is equal to 502 rand. Example 2. A dealer buys an article for 7,500 rand and adds 30% profit. What is the selling price of the article? So we say 30% of 7,500 is 30 over 100 times 7,500, which is 2,250 rand. Then the selling price will be the cost plus the profit. Therefore, the selling price is 9,750 rand. Exchange rate. Different countries use different currencies. When you travel or do business with other countries, you need to use exchange rate to calculate the cost of the other country's currency. Example 1. A Big Mac burger meal costs 49 rand 90. If the exchange rate is 1 USA dollar is equal to 18 rand, how much will a Big Mac burger in dollars cost? So we start by saying $1 is equal to 18 rand. And then how much dollars is equal to 49 rand 90? And can you see when I write this, I write dollars under dollars and rand under rand. And then just like that one example in lesson 1, you will cross multiply and we get $18 is equal to 1 times 49,90, and then to get rid of the 18 we will divide by 18 this side and divide by 18 that side. We get 49,90 divided by 18 is $2.77. Example 2. Bruce wants to order sneakers that cost $147.23. The rand-dollar exchange rate is 18 rand to a dollar. What is the price of the sneakers in rands? So we start by saying $1 is equal to 18 rand. $147 is equal to how much rand? And then when we cross multiply, again, you cross multiply, you get how much rand is equal to 18 times $147.23. So the price in rand is 2,650.14. Thank you for watching my videos. Remember, I prepared the whole syllabus for you. Have you subscribed yet? And do me a favor, Please tell all your friends about Online Maths by Miss Pythagoras.